morning, everyone. This is a bit of a different way to do Lighthouse this morning, but we're going to try this for a few weeks. Hopefully some of the other teachers might want to join in and do this instead of me, because I really don't want to see myself on TV very often on Facebook. But we're going to do the story today, and you probably remember in the last few weeks we've been doing the story of one of God's special messengers called, hopefully, Jeremiah, you remember. And Jeremiah had been bringing lots of messages from God to the people. You remember the first time we heard about Jeremiah, he had been to the potter shop and he learned how God had given the people a chance to turn away from the bad things they were doing and turn back to him. But he said he already knew that they weren't going to do that. And then last week we heard that Jeremiah was in trouble. Jeremiah had been captured and was in prison, and everything was in ruins around him. And God told him to do something a bit strange, which was to go and buy a field, which was a bit strange because he couldn't use the field and the field was ruined. But Jeremiah knew that God had promised that although things might be awful at the minute and things might be really hard, that one day he was going to bring back Jerusalem to its former glory. And we learned that in the vineyards they would plant grapes and people would dance and sing. And Jeremiah trusted God so much that he went and bought the field, even when it seemed like a really stupid thing to do. And today we're going to hear a wee bit more about Jeremiah. And we're going to hear about another message that God had given Jeremiah. So I'm going to read that from my Bible, first of all. Okay, and I'm sure you all have Bibles at home. And it's from Jeremiah chapter 36. And we're going to read from verse 1. So it says, "In the 4th year of Jehoiakim, son of Josiah, king of Judah, this word came to Jeremiah from the Lord. Take a scroll and write on it all the words I have spoken to you about Israel, Judah, and all the other nations, from the time I began speaking to you in the reign of Josiah up until now. Maybe when the people of Judah hear about everything I plan to the disasters I plan to inflict with them, each of them will turn from his wicked way, and then I will forgive their wickedness and their sin." So Jeremiah called Baruch, son of Neriah, and while Jeremiah spoke all the words God was giving him, Baruch wrote them on the scroll. Then Jeremiah told Baruch, "Look, I can't go out to God's temple. I'm not allowed. So you're going to have to go to the house of the Lord on a day of fasting, and I want you to read to the people from the scroll all the words God has given me. Read them to everybody who comes in from the towns, and maybe they will say sorry to God, and each of them will turn away from the bad things they're doing, and then God won't bring about the punishment that he has for his people." Yes?
Can I please borrow that Bible to read?
Okay, I have some more. Oh dear. Right, Grace, you can take that one. So Jeremiah was writing on a scroll, and some of you probably know what a scroll is. Like, it's a big piece of paper that folded up. They didn't have books like we did, so he was writing, his assistant Baruch was writing this on a scroll. Now, I'm very lucky, I have more than one Bible, so we can keep on going here with the story. So here's a bit more of what happened. Okay. So Baruch, son of Neriah, went to them with the scroll in his hand, and they said, "Sit down and read it to us." So Baruch read it to them. When they heard all the words, they looked at each other in fear, and they said to Baruch, "We have to tell the king." Then they asked Baruch, "Tell us, how did you write this? Did Jeremiah tell you?" "Yes," Baruch replied. "He told the words to me, and I wrote them on ink on the scroll." Then the officials said to Baruch, "You and Jeremiah, go and hide. Don't let anybody know where you are." What's wrong, Matthew?
Please, can I borrow a Bible for a quiz?
What?
Please, can I borrow a Bible for a quiz?
But I'm reading from it. Tell them the story to Lighthouse.
But I need a Bible for a quiz.
Right, I have another one. Okay. This is not going great. Right. So, where were we? Okay, I've got one more Bible, which is good. So hopefully we'll get to finish this story. We'll read God's word and we'll finish this story. So we're up to verse 20. So the officials went to the court of the palace to report to the king, and they had put the scroll for safekeeping in the office of Elishama, the secretary of state. The king sent Jehudi to get the scroll, and he brought it from the office of Elishama the secretary. Jehudi then read it to the king and the officials who were in the king's service. It was December. The king was sitting in his winter quarters in front of a charcoal fire. After Jehudi would read 3 or 4 columns, the king would cut them off the scroll with his pocket knife and throw them in the fire. He continued in this way until the entire scroll had been burned up in the fire. Neither the king nor any of his officials showed the slightest twinge of conscience as they listened to the messages read. His officials tried to convince the king not to burn the scroll, but he brushed them off. He just ploughed ahead and ordered Prince Jeremiah, Seraiah son of Azriel, and Shelemiah son of Abdeel to arrest Jeremiah and the prophet and his secretary Baruch. But God had hidden them away.
What are you doing? I need that Bible there, please.
But I'm doing the lesson.
Oh, but you can do that some other time. Just give me the Bible now. I'll bring it back to you in about.
But I'm reading the lesson.
But I really need the